What if growing old didn't have to mean getting sick? Scientists are now testing drugs that could slow or even reverse parts of the aging process. For decades, medicine has focused on fighting diseases one by one: heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. But aging itself is the biggest risk factor behind them all. If we could slow aging, we might not just extend life, we could add years of healthy, independent living. So in this video, let's explore what anti-aging drugs really are, how they work at the genetic level, and how close we're to seeing them in everyday medicine. When people talk about the aging gene, they imagine a single switch that turns old age on or off. But that's not how it works. Instead, scientists are finding that aging is controlled by a whole network of pathways, almost like the dashboard of a car, with dozens of dials and switches controlling how fast we wear out. Take FOXO3, for example. It's nicknamed the longevity gene because it shows up more often in people who live to 100. FOXO3 helps cells survive stress and repair damage. So if you've got the right version, your body may be naturally better at coping with aging. Then there's mTOR. Think of it as the growth versus repair switch. When food is plentiful, mTOR pushes the body to grow. But if it's always on, the body spends less time on repair and aging speeds up. Drugs like Rapamycin aim to rebalance that switch, giving cells more time to maintain themselves. Another big player is the family of sirtuin genes. These act like guardians of the genome, controlling DNA repair, inflammation, and how cells use energy. They're activated by calorie restriction, and that's why compounds like resveratrol or newer molecules that boost sirtuins are being tested as anti-aging treatments. Insulin and IGF-1 signaling is another dial. Dial it down, and in many animals, lifespan goes up. This is one reason calorie restriction, eating less without malnutrition, has such dramatic effects in lab studies. It shifts the body from growth mode into conservation and repair mode. There are also genes that act more like risk switches. ApoE is one of them. One version raises your risk of Alzheimer's and heart disease. Another version seems protective. It doesn't determine your fate on its own, but it tilts the odds. And what about telomeres? Every time a cell divides, its telomeres, the caps at the ends of chromosomes, get shorter. Eventually they fray, and the cell stops dividing. That's one of the clocks of aging. Telomerase, the enzyme that repairs telomeres, is another dial scientists are trying to tweak. Finally, there's the issue of zombie cells. These are cells that have stopped dividing but refuse to die. Instead, they sit around releasing toxic signals that damage nearby tissue. Genes like p53 and p16 control whether cells self-destruct or linger. And a new class of drugs called Senolytics is being designed to clear them out. So instead of one aging gene, we've got an entire control panel of longevity pathways. And the new wave of anti-aging drugs? They're not searching for immortality. They're trying to nudge these dials, just enough to keep our bodies healthier for longer. The first real anti-aging drugs may reach us in the next decade. If they work, the impact could be enormous. Not just on how long we live, but how we design healthcare, retirement, even entire societies. But here's the big question. If we can slow down aging, who will get access? Will it be a luxury for the wealthy or a revolution for everyone? One thing's certain. The science of aging is no longer about science fiction. It's becoming one of the most urgent frontiers in medicine. And the next few years will tell us whether we've really found a way to add more life to our years. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's happening now. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the tech that's rewriting the rules of life itself, subscribe to Tomorrow Today and be part of the revolution.